What's good with it? Happy Tuesday, everyone. Lucky Lefty Podcast, the Onora Boys, are in the building. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly, my man. You got to do it responsibly. We'll talk about what's unacceptable in 2023 for Notre Dame football. Left yesterday, we dug a little bit into the Big Ten's TV deal falling apart and how that helps Notre Dame and its relationship with NBC. And then we talked about cracks in the foundation, the health of the football program when Marcus Freeman took over, and the perception based upon the history of years with 10 plus wins is that Notre Dame had a very healthy program. But once things got to rolling, Marcus Freeman, you know how it is, Left. New home buyers, if you ever bought a home, you buy a home, it goes through the inspection, it passes the inspection, and then you take ownership, and all of a sudden, 2 months into it, you're trying to figure out why water's leaking into the basement.
That's right.
You're trying to figure out, what is this coming through the roof over the garage? And like, how in the world did it pass inspection? Well, you're the owner now. So now it's your headache to deal with. And Marcus Freeman found some things that he had to deal with that he didn't expect to deal with in his first year as a head coach. And started with the quarterback room, to be honest. And he's dealt with those things. And you have to be patient. You don't have to be patient. So we're going to parlay that into what's unacceptable. Like, in telling Notre Dame fans that patience is needed. We are not forgiving Stanford. We are not forgiving Marshall. That's just unforgivable. You're Notre Dame. Like, that should never happen. But what is unacceptable? What if I told you that you could lose 2 games, but it could be acceptable? What if I told you that you could lose 2 games and it'd be unacceptable? We'll talk about that. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Don't forget, we need you guys to really go over to CFB Nation, tap in. We'll be exclusively on CFB Nation starting in the fall. So we're building up. I think we're over 400 followers now. We keep growing. We need to get that up to over 1,000, 2,000. We really need you guys to lock in for the audio edibles we give you each and every day. So CFB Nation, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, go lock in. Leave us 5 stars. Leave your comments. Then YouTube, that thumb that goes up, smash that for us. Helps with the views. We respond to all your comments, and we're here because of you, LL Nation. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know we spin it different. Now, indulge us for a moment today because we want to be in order. We come here this morning. This is not a sad occasion. This is a celebration. And we come to celebrate what some call the GOAT. We come to celebrate what some might call Braun. We come to celebrate what others might call him LJ, LBJ.
That's right.
But to Malik Zaire, we want to give this moment in time for him to correctly eulogize his hero, LeBron James. So without further ado, we turn these services over into the hands of Bishop Malik Zaire.
That's a really good welcome. First and foremost, 31 points in one half. Only somebody as great as LeBron can do it. Unfortunately, in year 20, it's not enough gas in that tank. And he needs a little bit more help I think the first order of business for the Lakers organization to keep Bron there is to trade AD. It's time to get rid of AD. We appreciate AD for a lot of the hype, the fanfare, the games on and off. But in the clutch moments, LeBron cannot count on this. And it's crazy because on the other team, Caldwell Pope, Kadavius Caldwell Pope, the same guy who was playing games with the ankle monitor, same guy who was shooting 28% when he played for the Lakers, just so happens to be a really good player when he leaves Bron. So it's just the backstabbing, the overall pressure that this man in year 20 is expected to play like he's in year 10. He's playing better than guys that should be taking that next step like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and guys of that nature. But like LeBron said, this was the best team he's probably played with AD and played against with AD in the 4 years they've been there. I mean, give credit to Denver. They was just hitting everything. I mean, my goodness. It was like anytime the Lakers had the momentum, somebody was hitting a crazy shot. I mean, the response to just everything the Lakers gave them, Denver definitely looks like the best team this year. I mean, they have in the regular season and they have in the playoffs. And, getting swept in the Western Conference Finals sucks. But for a team that wasn't even that had to fight through the play-in, that team people thought they wasn't going to make it that far, they end up beating the defending champs from last year real easy and smooth. Put that to bed. LeBron had 40 in a great effort, terrible second half, but he ran out of gas and he's hurt. So to be able to still put on great performances, now it's just about how can we keep this going so Bronny can get to the league, so LeBron can end on the right way, maybe with another championship, but it's got to start with getting rid of AD. Austin Reeves played incredible. I wish the last play would have went to him just because he hit that huge three a couple minutes before. But, everybody in the world wanted LeBron to take that last shot. It's crazy for a guy in year 20 to have such high expectations, way higher than any other player, especially Jordan had at that age. I mean, Jordan went playing in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Wizards. So, I mean, for a guy to be doing that on a foot like that, greatness. However, getting swept sucks, but he needs some help. And the team they played was really good. I mean, Jokic, that behind the head three with AD in his face. Oh, that was can't do nothing about that. So they made a bunch of shots like that. I mean, Jamal Murray had 30 in one quarter, just crazy stuff. Dennis Schroeder had 10 points over the 4-game span, something ridiculous. However, we had Kyrie sitting courtside, waiting to take the throne for next year. We make that happen. We have a different conversation. So, LeBron, man, what can you say? Year 20 doing it better than anybody that can expect to be doing it. Just came up short this time.
At this time, we're going to ask for the officiates of Crypto Funeral Home to come forth. We're going to ask for some help. Ladies, if you can come get the flowers surrounding the casket. We're about to have the last viewing of Championship Bron.
Yeah. He's not going to retire, though. Don't believe that.
Paul Bearers, we ask that you meet us at the hearse as we make our way to the cemetery. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, right. What do you mean? He scored 40 in year 20. Father Time is like, man, we can't do nothing with this guy.
And we bid adieu to championship. Wow. Lucky Lefty Podcast. That was a beautiful eulogy, Left. Beautiful, beautiful. You know, typical. Pretty figured you would mention Michael Jordan.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. I don't know why, but
Because
you
we
know,
had to beat him to the punch. That's all.
yeah, beat them to what punch? There's no need to mention. They're not even the same class. No need to even mention them.
Yeah, LeBron's the greatest scorer of all time. So
Yeah, he can have that. He can have that.
he
He
got
can
that.
have that.
He got
All I'm saying, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that 29-14 in the series is not good enough for you. That's
it.
just amazing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that 29-14 in today's NBA makes you a bum.
Mm,
So if you just want to give them away, you can send them to the Bulls. Send them home.
yeah.
Send them home. We'll take 29-14. You can have Zach Levine if you want him.
Nah, we'll end up
No, no,
taking
no, 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 no. Straight up. Send us AD. Send us
yeah.
AD,
Yeah,
and we'll send you Zach Levine.
yeah,
Right?
right.
Zach Levine is from LA, right? He's from LA.
Straight up part is where you went wrong.
No, 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 no. We can send him
You talking about
to
straight up.
LA. You know, we'll send you Patrick Williams along with Zach Levine. You just send AD right to Chicago.
Oh, man.
It's all good.
80 doesn't want no type of pressure, no expectations, It's all
Hey, hey, it is what it is. Lucky Lefty podcast, bro. But we wanted to give Malik a moment to eulogize his guy, to take him out the right way. You know, we appreciate the 20 years. Uh, I told people on
hold on. It froze. I think he froze for a second. But LeBron James is just it's funny because people are going to appreciate so much more once he's done. Once LeBron James is done, we're gonna be like, man, in year 20, he had 40 points in the Western Conference Finals on a team that he needed help on. That's what you want to see. And LeBron James is who he is, and it's going to be even greater once he's done. I think it's going to carry a greater legacy once he's done, because if you think about it, LeBron James is at year 38 of his life. So which means that anybody that gets to year 38 and is not averaging, is not getting to the same point with their team, that's going to be the new level of measurement right there. At year 38, what are you doing compared to these numbers? Are you getting the greatest score of all time? Are you in the finals enough? Are you competing for championships in year 38? Because there's not many guys, if any, are competing for championships in year 38. So for all the haters out there, it's okay. It's okay, because once this is over, this great ride of 23 years potentially of LeBron James, just like Tom Brady in a couple 5 years from now, we're gonna miss. We're gonna miss this greatness, because you're gonna be stuck with inconsistent KD, non-skilled Giannis, out of shape MB. You know, the league, was the league gonna be taken over by foreign players? Is it gonna be a Luka and Jokic show? International basketball, face of basketball for the next years. Steph got to figure out what he gonna do in Golden State. So the league's just super inconsistent. The only solid foundational player is LeBron James. And once that's over, who you gonna lean on next? Who's gonna be the talking point in the NBA next? Kevin Durant don't like the media. Jason Tatum don't say much to the media. He's humbly the best player, whatever that means. Wembanyama, we're gonna see that. But who are you gonna talk about in the NBA? Half the league is on this new generation stuff where they don't like talking and like the media and like being the face of the league. So who you gonna depend on? That's all I'm saying. Kawhi only played 13 games a season. Who you gonna watch on a day-to-day? Who you gonna look at the news for when it comes to NBA basketball once LeBron James is done. Who? The Bulls? You be watching more Bulls games? Will you be watching the Bucks games? Pat Connaughton? I know you're not going to watch any Denver games moving forward. So what are you going to watch? Jalen Green in Houston? So I just want everybody to know what they're about to be crossing over into once LeBron James is done. Lack of consistent news, entertainment, expectation. Yeah, there's good basketball that's played, but who you really want to watch? Who you getting up after work for to watch NBA during the season? Who a Bucks and Denver game? Who the players you're looking for? I'm turning the channel. I'm going to watch some rewatch on NFL Network or something. Because that'll be more entertaining on a day-to-day. Because Kevin Durant going to give you 41 night, 15 the next. Lose a game he shouldn't. Talk stuff about the parlays. What superstars you going to be watching? Steph? I mean, other than that, you're going to be watching young dudes. Like the Magic. Like Zion, if he can ever stay healthy. Half of these dudes that are young superstars can't even stay healthy. Zion can't stay healthy. John Morant can't stay on the court. So, yeah, I know it's ha-ha now because LeBron James is out. But I'll tell you what. You're not going to be watching AD once LeBron James is done. You're going to be like, man, AD going to come across my TV every now and again. Okay, I know he's going to give me inconsistent performance. We're going to watch Dame. We're going to watch Shai Gilchrist. Who are the superstars you're going to pay attention to once LeBron James is done? Half of them are on low management. Paul George is here now and what we talking about? So appreciate the greatness in which you worship. Because once it's gone, y'all not going to watch the NBA like that. Because who you going to watch on a consistent basis? Who's going to give you that entertainment factor, that face of the league? Devin Booker? Who? Because the league right now, superstars, these superstars are not worth watching all the time. So thank you, LeBron James, for making the fan base of the NBA so strong. Just like Tiger Woods in golf. Once Tiger wasn't playing, people wasn't watching the PGA like that. When Tiger stopped winning all that had that hype, when he was winning every tournament and doing all these crazy, once he stopped, people weren't watching the PGA like that. But when Tiger came back, guess what happened? The PGA went just like this on TV ratings. I'm not saying the PGA isn't good watching now, but I'm just saying when Tiger Woods was at his height, people was watching the PGA for Tiger Woods. And that's a fact. Just like the NBA, people watch for LeBron James. Facts. That's why everybody was hoping from some miracle that the Lakers could come back and win because nobody wants to watch a Denver-Miami series. That's a fact. That's a fact. And they both great teams. I like Jimmy Butler. I like Jokic. The NBA be fine, yes. But would the NBA be worth watching without LeBron James on a consistent basis? That's the question. That's the question. That's the question. You're going to have a hard time watching these low management players. Zion playing 13 games a season. Kawhi playing 22. It's just going to look like a circus. A bunch of half-court shots by Steph and Trae Young just shooting half-court. That's what y'all going to get in the future. You ain't going to be seeing no drive to the lane, dunking, best driver of basketball. You're going to see Giannis traveling, James Harden out of shape, Embiid out of shape, out of gas by the playoffs. What you going to get, a Jamal Murray jersey? He plays good. What you You gonna rock a Murray jersey moving forward? Okay, then y'all let me know.
You done?
I'm just saying.
You done?
A Zach LaVine jersey after LeBron's done?
I only have look. Dude. There's your guy, your eulogy. However you want to go with it. I only have one major problem with what you said. LeBron James does not even come close to the cultural impact on the sport that Tiger Woods. That's blasphemous.
What?
That's blasphemous. Basketball is considered very much a multicultural sport.
Yes.
If you want to compare what he did in basketball to a sport that had little to no representation at all,
I'm saying entertainment.
are you kidding? Are you in? No. He's not even close. It's not even close.
So the TV ratings didn't go up.
It's not even close.
Did the TV ratings not go
not
up?
Even the impact is not even close. We're not debating that. We're not debating that from a rating standpoint. First of all, from a dominant standpoint, we're not even. No, we're not even.
LeBron went to the finals 9 years in a row. What do you mean?
Wait a minute. Tiger was winning, dog. We ain't talking about going. Tiger was winning.
For those 9 years,
his dominance was based upon winning. He was winning.
Won. LeBron got 4 rings. What do you mean?
Okay.
In those 9 years,
how many times did LeBron go back to back?
Back to back what? Finals?
How many times did he win championships back to back? Once.
Okay.
He did it once.
We're saying that
he did it once. You're talking about a dude that dominated golf and held every major trophy in a calendar year.
LeBron is the greatest scorer of all time.
Man, look.
What? It's the truth.
Look, I'm telling you, that was the only place in your diatribe where you went left a little bit. You just went left a little bit. And I'm just trying to show you that, hey, that's apples to oranges. Like, I understand what you're trying to make, but that was the phenomenon that was Tiger Woods. That's a whole different beast, my brother. That's an entirely different beast. LeBron James.
Nobody has ever been at the height of LeBron James's career and exceeded expectations. Of course, Tiger Woods is a phenomenon, but people forget 15 years old, he was called the chosen one.
Cheers, man. Lucky Lefty podcast.
$90 million contract with Nike out of high school.
We're going to use the motivation of LeBron James, which I respect this. After he took that broom last night, the media tried to give him an out. And respect. Dude, this was the most respectful thing he said all night. He said, dude, ain't nobody happy about getting to the West Conference Finals. Like, dude, I've been doing this. No, this ain't a successful season. That was the best thing he said all night. That was the most honest. And while everybody else is trying to cap and make excuses, he sat there and said, no, this ain't acceptable. Which leads us to what is acceptable for Notre Dame football. Thank you, LeBron, for inspiring the topic today. I have tons of respect for you sitting there in front of the media when they tried to give you outs, give you excuses, and you flat out said, no, this ain't it. This ain't enough. I don't get up and do all that work in the off season to end my season here. But this is not what I'm doing. So we're going to give you 5 things that are unacceptable. I think we found 5. How many did you find, Left? Unacceptable things in 2023.
I got about 5.
Okay. Let me give you my first one. If Notre Dame does not have a wide receiver with at least 50 receptions, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. I don't care if they go to the
Hartman, though. Because of Sam Hartman, though.
That's unacceptable.
Yes.
If you can't forget yardage. If you can't have 50 receptions in that wide receiver room, I don't know what we're talking about. What we doing? What are we doing? Because you can't use the quarterback position as an excuse anymore. It was valid last year. It was valid, right? We can be honest. We can be honest. Our boy, Mr. Release Packages himself, should have had minimum 6 touchdowns.
Mm.
Braden Lindsey should have had at least 6 touchdowns last year. 6. Because what he did against South Carolina, he was doing pretty much every game. He was open once or twice every game, B. Just couldn't get the ball to him.
Can do it.
What about you?
Well, one of my first ones was that we should definitely have one of our linemen be a first round lineman. Hopefully, two. I think Joe Alt and Blake Fisher will prove this year because of who we have at quarterback and the type of things we trying to do on offense, which I think will be pretty balanced. That we should have two first round offensive linemen this year, which would make us in position to my second point that we have to. It's unacceptable to not be a top 10 offense this year. I think if you think about everything included, from our passing game to be stronger with a guy that's veteran enough to really have a better or the best career he's a best season he's had his whole career at a place where everything is supercharged. Receiver room is better, O line is better, the running game is better. The running game was good before you got here, it's still good. So that's only going to add to the stress of a defense, which should open up the pass game. We basically put a battery in our back to no doubtedly be a top 10 scoring offense this year because where are we lacking at this point? We got the receivers, we got the running backs, we got the linemen. The coaching is not a new coaching staff. It's a staff that's been there, staff that knows what we need to do better. Year two of a Marcus Freeman team with a defense that's better. So it's just no excuse for us not to be in the top 10. Scoring.
How do you feel like the new clock rules are going to impact that? Because first down, clock stops in college football, that changes now. So probably less time, less possessions in games. How impactful is that going to be on scoring and offenses?
Well, it's huge because when you think about the finishes of college football, a lot of it is based off of the first down and stopping the clock and getting time to dial up plays. So moving the game faster in that aspect changes a lot from the speed of play in which you need to be right. You need to have your calls together. And for a guy like Jared Parker, who's taking the right steps of having the the step back approach from uh, the team and being more the voice of reason of just giving plays and being off. I think he can focus better in that uh, clock new system. So it's kind of like NFL, um, where you got to be on your time management. I think it's going to be great for Sam to show that level of expertise when the chips are getting down. We got to clock things. We got to get out of bounds. We got to do different things on that nature. But having a veteran quarterback, it shouldn't impact us too much.
Lucky Lefty podcast talking about unacceptables for the 2023 season. Lucky Lefty, Malik, Zaire, Shaun, the Onora boys are in the building. Yo, if Notre Dame does not have a top 15 red zone defense, it's unacceptable because they were awful in the red zone defensively last year. And you know what was crazy, Left? You watch like these red zone sequences, they would make a play on second down. They would
It's
get a tackle.
yeah.
They would get a tackle for loss on second down or first down, and then all of a sudden,
Can't get off
can't get off the field. Blown coverage, penalty
every time.
every time. It's like the red zone defense has to make a dramatic 180-degree turn and change this season. Anything else would be uncivilized, as the Old Spice commercial used to say.
That's right.
Can't have it. That's unacceptable. You know what else is unacceptable to me? Not seeing the youngsters at the linebacker position in 2023.
Yeah, insane.
That's unacceptable. Now, I'm not the coach. I'm not there at every practice, but come on, man. Come on. Like you can't spin and sell to people that cover Notre Dame how talented these guys are. But then when the time comes, the players that we watch be inconsistent continue to be placed in front of them. Eventually, the equation doesn't add up because eventually, either you're not going based upon performance in practice, or the young players are not as good as you're trying to lead us to believe. Something has to change in that aspect. Anything else would be unacceptable. Is 2 losses unacceptable this year, Left?
It's definitely possible. Um, but I think that's where the crux of where everything comes from Marcus Freeman is staying above that 9 game win total. Those 3 games are huge games. I think they're a testament to the type of team we'll have this year. But that's all speaking to us being and reaching our potential and winning those 9 games undoubtedly. Um, I think there'll obviously be some hiccups throughout the season of some of these games being closer than they should, but we should have the experience and maturity of a Sam Hartman, of an experienced secondary, of a pretty general experienced team that we should win these close ones. Especially teams are more talented than 9 of the games we have. I think we're more talented as a roster, so that's why I know we should win 9 for sure. The last 3, I think, is where the quarterback significance is going to take a part, and competitively, we really have a chance in that aspect over Ohio State and Clemson. So I think those are 2 wild card games that maybe it's about the point in the season in which we catch them, where they catch us.
Mm.
So we're known for being a team that's great in November. Great. And hell, a little bit of October too. But the second half, that second half of the season, we usually end up turning up. So Clemson falls into that. USC falls into that. So it definitely gives us a little bit of that Ohio State game is placed right where we usually take off after that game,
Mm-hmm.
or we're still asleep during that game. But usually around that 4th, 5th game where we start waking up. But I think the first 3 games, how they set up, should be good enough for us to spread our wings a little bit, get some confidence in there, score a lot of points, get a lot of guys reps. Because that 4th game should be the turning point for us to start gearing up to be an intimidating factor in the season.
Not having a better pass defense than last year is unacceptable to me. You solidified depth to the safety position. Dude, the cornerbacks, I mean, what else are we going to say? It's going to come down to health for Cam Hart. It's always about health for Cam Hart. Benjamin Morrison, Jaden Mickey. You have the 2 freshmen coming in that are going to be impactful. There's no excuse for Notre Dame, who had a pretty decent pass defense last year. I fully expect Notre Dame to jump into the top 10 in pass defenses. I would be disappointed if they didn't do that this year. Let's see. Let's
That,
go back. Go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, going back to the 2 losses. Let's say Notre Dame beats. Let's say Notre Dame. I'll give you something crazy. Let's say Notre Dame beats Clemson, USC, and Ohio State, but they lose road games in the ACC. Say Duke sneaks up on them and North Carolina State, but they win the big three games. How do you surmise that? How, like,
I think that will fit to more of who we tend to be as a team in general, and that's playing to the level of our competition, which is interesting because last year we played a Marshall. You would have thought it was Alabama. We played Clemson. You would have thought it was how we should have treated Marshall. So whenever we rise to the occasion, which is a good thing about Notre Dame, but also a bad thing because we play to the same level, but we should be playing at our own level and not matching the intensity of everybody that we play. Because being talented, you can get a little lazy when you already know you're superior as a group. But the difference between us and how Clemson was when they had Shaun and Trevor and Alabama and how they are made up is that they don't care who's out there. I mean, even Georgia, with the reverse psychology, thinking that people thought they was gonna go 7-5, but they really believed it. So they always played at their same standard that we, whoever
they
step
didn't,
out here, we beating them.
as you know, that's major cap, right?
It
You know
has
they
to
didn't.
be major cap, but
They didn't.
they.
But hey, whatever they needed for motivation, hey,
I mean, they even was saying it after they won. You know, they were saying it while they won. So it'll be an interesting thing to see where Marcus Freeman can put his etch on the program of how we come out. So Fiesta Bowl, I thought it was a great start where we started fast. And that was something that was way different than what
right,
we were used to.
right.
Yeah, okay, so now how do you bring up the second half? In which we said, I think this year he'll be more engaged on the sideline, less stoic. You know, he's trying to hold the coach card. We're stale fate, but you know, that's not the same Marcus Freeman that when he got the job ran in there and all the kids jumped on him. You know, so I think if he played more into that on the sideline, I think we would get a more complete game because you know, right now he is the energy leader of the program, and that's going to carry on throughout the game too.
I'm actually intrigued by how he comes into this season with his demeanor. Would you be disappointed if his demeanor was the same as it was in his first year?
I wouldn't be disappointed, but you know, I would like him to um, not be the same guy, but I think the team appreciates Marcus Freeman, the guy in the building, as opposed to the guy on the sideline with the camera in his face. You know, I think Marcus Freeman has a strong affinity towards his role models in coaching, like the Jim Trestles and that may have you. So his version of that is what he's more so trying to uh, take on. But I think he should just be himself. Not that he's not, but he should be more of himself as the coach on the field, like he is in the locker room. I think he tries to take on more of a persona of a Trestle, how Trestle's calm, kind of stoic during the games,
Mm.
because that's his mentor. But he should just be the linebacker coach, Marcus Freeman, like a Mike Vrabel. I mean, not Mike Vrabel. Yeah, Tennessee's head coach.
Yeah,
I think his linebacker personality comes out in his coaching, from tough conversations to being upset about getting the wrong guy. You know, he fighting for the guys he wants, and I think he's a good coach because of that. But you can still
I,
tell Mike Vrabel was a linebacker,
I
even though
think
he's
that's important, right? Because that and basically attitude going into big games. Teams take the attitude of their coaches, bro.
that's right.
You know, and if you have a head coach that's trying to like figure it out and he wants to be stoic, then you might kind of get that dry, non-exuberant, non-swag performance in big games,
That's right.
right? I didn't see that. I think when I look at the Clemson game, he was very, very energetic on the sideline. They were very energetic the entire game. He was the same way in the Gator Bowl, in my opinion. I think he's going to evolve even more. And I think that's going to impact, you look at Brian Kelly on the sideline, it was just nothing. In big games, just nothing. Just nothing. Like, we're going to go out here and try to do and execute what we can. And, hopefully if we're perfect and, we'll come away with the win. It's like, no, man. No.
Yeah, it's just like back to business kind of thing. Like just regular
Absolutely.
business.
It's like, nah, that's not going to get it done.
We
That's
going
definitely
out
not
there
going
with
to
the
get it done.
intensity of what we had in practice is just like another day. But Marcus Freeman is not that type of person. Even though he portrays that on the field, I just don't think that's his coaching personality. I think if anything, more Elko's personality than Marcus Freeman's personality on the field. So I think the players will respond to the Marcus Freeman that talks to them in team meetings and in the building and in the practices and not not the Marcus Freeman that's like how he was talking about the safeties coach. He's like, oh, you got a mic on, you different today.
Right.
Marcus Freeman, obviously, he get the mic on, he's all, buttoned up Will Smith Obama thing. Like, no, like be that same guy on the field. And I think
be Gino Gaduli.
Yeah,
be Gino. Gino is Gino. You put the mic on him, that's what you get every day.
Like James Franklin, I think why people appreciate him so much is I feel like he's the same in the media as he is on the field, and the players respond well to that.
That's fair.
Even though he may not be, I don't think, as the same level of greatness of coaches, the Urban Meyers of the world. I think he is the Urban Meyer of his coaching personality. Like he is himself, and I think the players really, really like that, which is why it's odd to see him always as a top 10 coach and a top 10 favorite coach every year. Every year you see Penn State James Franklin and some favorite top 10 poll of players that love to play for him or coaches that are respected in college football.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Those are the unacceptables for the 2023 season for Notre Dame, man. What are your unacceptables, LL Nation? I've been looking in the chat. Most people, agree. Like some people even said anything less than 11-1. Like one loss is unacceptable. Michael Parks said 35 years is unacceptable. I agree. 35 years without a championship is beyond unacceptable. I agree, man. With all of that being said, this season, it leads us to believe that good things are on the horizon. They have the 19th toughest schedule in the country, according to ESPN, Left. 19th toughest.
We have the top 5 best roster. So,
huh? Wait a minute. Say what?
We have a top 5 roster.
In all of college football?
Yeah, across the board.
I got to think about this one, Left.
Alabama, Georgia, okay. But what, we talking Clemson? I think we have a better
we talked about the Clemson.
I think we have a better roster than Ohio State.
Come on, Left.
Roster? We have a better offensive line. We have a better secondary.
We have a
better quarterback room. We have a better running back room. Where are we? We have better linebackers. What is Ohio State as a room? Receiver room, okay. Y'all can have that. We have a better quarterback room. We have a better secondary. What do we?
They have 6 players in the top 50 of the draft. What
6 players?
And their freshman class was better than our freshman class. Like what? At some point, we have to be objective here.
I said the receiver room. Okay, let's break it down.
We're talking about the total roster.
Does Ohio State have a better quarterback room than us? No, they don't.
Based upon what?
our starter, their backups, they're young and inexperienced. They don't. Now I do like that.
You have a quarterback that's about
like
to be a third or fourth round pick in the NFL draft, dude. And you have
I'm saying I like the guy they got coming in, but I like our guys over their guys. What are you talking about? Kyle McCord is their starter, so that means that Kyle McCord is the best in their room, and we already know. I like Sam Hartman over Kyle McCord. I like Kenny Minchie over Kyle McCord. I like now I'm not saying Kyle McCord is a bum. I'm just saying I like our room better. Let's talk about secondary. Our secondary is better than Ohio State's 100%. 100%.
Based upon what? You didn't say secondary. You keep saying you said roster, which means all 80.
Right, okay, now
it goes beyond the starters.
No, I'm saying that. That's why I said rooms. I said rooms. Now, if we're taking the combined rooms together, if we have a better secondary, if we have a better running back room, if we have a better quarterback room, if we have a better O-line, if we have comparable linebackers and a better front, I think we have a collective room better than Ohio State. Ohio State has better individual players in their D-line, but I think as a room, we're better as a D-line. So if you add all that up, we have a better roster.
So they have better individual players on the D line, but we have a better D line.
They have a DN that may be better than our best DN, but from a D line's perspective, from depth, including because we're talking about roster, we have a better depth at D line than they do.
Dude, we have unproven depth. Our depth haven't done anything.
What do you mean they have unproven depth?
No, they don't have unproven depth.
What are you talking about? Other than the starters, who do you know in Ohio State's D-line depth that is more proven than our D-line depth?
Bro.
Outside of the starters.
They just had a dude leave because of their young depth on the defensive line that Notre Dame took. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
That's fine. They can have young guys, but they're unproven, right?
They actually played in the playoffs. If you watch the Georgia game,
they give up 45 points.
They played in the playoffs.
They give up 45 points. So that doesn't mean that they're doing anything special.
But they also shut Georgia down and handed.
They gave Georgia
the offense what?
Georgia scored.
They didn't shut Georgia down in the second and third quarter.
45 points is not shutting anybody down. We shut Ohio State down. We gave them 21 points of the whole game.
Look,
that's shutting Ohio State down.
Let me tell y'all something. And let me tell y'all something. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. But we're going to stop this bull crap talking about the full roster that's better. Like we recruit better than Ohio State. Y'all need to stop lying.
We don't
stop lying.
Receivers better.
Stop.
We don't recruit receivers better.
And just because you have the better roster does not mean you win football games. That does not equate to that. It does not equate to that. Just because you have the better roster, that Georgia had a better roster than Ohio State, and they almost got beat.
Almost. Georgia scored 45 points. It was a good
game. My point is people are getting confused. If you feel like Notre Dame can beat Ohio State, that's because they have the weapons to go out there. Oh, that doesn't mean they have a better roster. Having a better roster does not mean that you are going to win on a Saturday. That's not how football goes.
Alabama
has about to sit up here and look at the last. Bro, Notre Dame is coming off of recovering from 2 bad years of recruiting at the end of Brian Kelly's era. They're recovering from that. Ohio State is consistently top 5 in recruiting, and we're about to sit up here and act like the 80 at Ohio State is less than the 80 at Notre Dame. Come on, man. That's when I say hit the pause button.
Ohio State has,
we got to be a little objective. Just a little bit.
We're being objective. That's why I went by rooms, because I have to break down by rooms to understand the roster, right? Just like an NBA team. The Lakers have a couple players, right? LeBron James and AD. Now during the regular season, obviously it didn't matter too much because the rosters of other teams were better. So during the regular season, as it evened out, LeBron James and the Lakers was at the bottom of the West. The team that had the best team was at the top, right? Now, when it got to the playoffs and you have individuals that need to make better plays, that have superstars, because the NBA playoffs is about superstars, is no different than college football. College football is about superstars. Ohio State has superstars at receivers. They had Chris Olave first round, Garrett Wilson
So
first
wait a
round.
minute. You think
So
wait,
when
the
you have
Notre Dame linebacker room is better than Ohio State's?
that's what okay. So I talked about that. I said we may not have better linebackers as a room, but that's one thing that Ohio State may be better than. They have better linebackers, but we have a better secondary. We have a better D line. We have a better running back room.
You don't have a better D line. You don't even know where your sacks are coming from. And you trying to sit up. They have a top 5 pick at defensive end.
That's one guy.
If you don't know where sacks are coming from, you're banking on Jordan Patello, but you want to tell me the defensive line is better than Ohio State.
As a room, yes.
Man,
as a room, yes.
Bro, you are capping. You are capping right now. You are capping right now.
So one player.
And I despise Ohio State just as much as you do. That's big cap right now.
Does one player that's better make the entire room better than the other room?
Are you kidding me?
No, as a room, as a roster, that's if we're talking roster.
So you're sitting up here acting like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who has the better defensive line coach? Ohio State or Notre Dame? I'm about to keep it a buck.
Ohio State.
They got a Hall of Fame defensive line coach.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that don't make that. That don't make
when it comes to the develop, forget that one player. When it comes to the development of the players and the recruitment of the players in that room, who do you trust? Do you trust Larry Johnson or do you trust Al Washington more?
We're talking about
talent. Let's talk about it.
What Ohio are you taking Ohio State's running back?
And you keep saying they have one guy. They have a defense. They have one guy, a defensive end, that is a top 5.
He's Aiden Hutchinson.
That's your opinion. He
is.
He's much bigger and much more physical than Aiden Hutchinson.
Well, Aiden Hutchinson
watch him play. Now I know you're not being objective. Now I know you're not being objective because they have two totally different games. They don't even play the same.
One player can be better, but that doesn't make the roster better.
Indy is deeper. How? How are they deeper? Based upon what?
Ohio State has an unproven D-line.
Who has done what on Notre Dame?
Has an unproven D-line, and they lost a lot of their seniors last year on that D-line. I believe that, for prime example, we lost Isaiah Fauske last year, right? Or this year. I think we're a better D-line this year than last year, and we lost a 25 sack lead.
Wait a minute.
That's a perfect example.
I agreed with you, and I said that the day after I went to the combine. Did I not say that? Did I not say that?
D-line without Fauske?
Yes.
Okay, so that just proved that as a roster and as a depth in the room, I believe our depth and talent in the room outlast the one or two guys that Ohio State has that may be a top 5 pick. Them having one guy that's a top 5 pick right now doesn't outlast in talent the room that we have over them. So when we talk about paper to paper, they may have young guys that may be good, but they're unproven, no different than ours. But I believe as an entire group, we have like 10 D linemen. I think our 10 D linemen are better than their 10 D linemen as a group. And we will be more productive. Like I said, I don't know who it's going to come from specifically, but as a D-line group, we'll be more productive in the sack area than just depending on the one guy in Fauske last year.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. So then we have to go by
wait.
to find if we have a better roster.
Who is your for sure? Because if you're going to have a great defensive line, you have to give me your for sures. Tell me for sure who you know, mark it down, that's a stud on the defensive line for Notre Dame. Tell me. Who?
And that's where coaching comes in.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Answer the question, man. Who is the definite? Don't sit up here and give me possibilities when you try to tell me that it's a deeper room than Ohio State, but you don't have any definites.
What do you ask me? Who's the definite what?
Give me the definite stud on the defensive line.
The definite stud, we won't know because all of them are unproven. Just like, who could I expect? I would expect Jordan Patello to have the most sacks on the D-line or a Jason Anye, one of the two. We don't know because neither has had enough time to even see if they can do it.
Bro.
What at Ohio State other than one dude that you know about? You don't.
Look, man. Look. I'm not about to sit up here. I'm not about to sit
Whose
up
room
here
are you taking?
and
Ohio
debate.
State running back room or Notre Dame's running back
Dude,
room
look,
with Coach Alford,
first,
who I think is a Hall of
let,
Fame
let me
running
let
back
me
coach.
let me get clarity and give clarity. Because originally, your original statement was Ohio State's Notre Dame's roster is better than Ohio State's roster. That was your
Going
original
into this
statement.
year,
Wait.
yes,
That was your original statement.
yes.
Then you said, wait a minute, not roster. We just will go to the rooms. Now
Well,
we're
the
gonna go to
rooms
the
build the
position
roster.
rooms.
I'm being objective. We have to break down the roster.
Okay.
So we gotta go by
I
room.
gave you, based upon this year, I gave you Sam Hartman.
Okay, so our quarterback room.
I gave you Sam Hartman. Stop acting like Ohio State has trash in the running back room.
No.
At
don't think they have
worst, at worst, that's even. At worst, that's even. You know about what? Dude, are you kidding? Wait a minute.
Ohio State
all they do is recruit 5-star running backs.
Ohio State doesn't have the best running back room in the Big Ten.
Wait a minute.
They're like fifth in the Big Ten.
Who has the best running back
room in the Big Ten?
Who has the best run? Who? Wait a minute.
First of all, Wisconsin's running back room, David Allen is the best running back.
First of all, let me pause. Let me pause because I was about to be a little reckless. I caught myself.
Ohio State doesn't have the best running back room in the Big Ten. That's a fact.
No. I caught myself. As much as I love Eli McCullough, I would still take Tony Alford. As much as I love Eli McCullough,
I agree with you. I
would still take Tony Alford.
Yes.
Especially from a recruiting standpoint.
Yes. Okay. I give you that. I agree with you.
You go look at the last 3 freshmen he's brought in to that running back room at Ohio State. Come on, man. Dude, I understand you got Audrey Estebe. We're not about to sit here and act like Logan Diggs is just, that ain't a loss. You darn right it's a loss.
That's a loss.
You darn right it's a loss. Right? Because behind him, you got a dude. Behind him, you have a dude coming off of Achilles that you don't know what you're going to get.
I'm putting Jabron in replace of Logan Diggs, though.
You like Jabron more than Logan Diggs?
Losing Logan Diggs and filling in a Jabron for Logan, I don't think we're falling off much. I don't even think we're falling off because Jabron's faster.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
I can give you Jabron being. I actually think he's shiftier than Logan Diggs,
and it takes a step up, right?
He's a different style.
Audric and Jabron mixed with. I agree with you on Jadarian. We just moved Chris Tyree, but if we throwing him in there, that's 4 guys. Let's just say because we lost Logan, they just bring Chris Tyree back to the room.
And then you bringing in Jeremiah Love as a freshman. He's a freshman.
He's unproven.
He's
you go to Ohio State, you got Travion Henderson, who's injury prone.
Mayan Williams came back.
Okay, but with Mayan Williams,
health is an issue.
Health is an issue for most of Ohio State.
I agree, but we're just talking about talent, right? We're talking about talent, right?
We can only go by right now, and your talent is affected by your injuries.
But they have 2. Would you agree that they have 2 proven running backs?
They don't even have the best running proven. Okay, proven for what? As the best in the Big Ten? They don't even have the best in the Big Ten. I would take Michigan.
So Travion Henderson to come in and run for 1,200 as a freshman.
You said what?
You just forget that Travion Henderson came in as a true freshman and ran for 1,200. Just push that to the side, right?
When he was healthy. Yeah, when he was healthy. But
that's
now
the point.
He's not doing that now.
That's the point.
So right now, our room is better. Right now, yes.
Okay.
You got 2 hurt guys.
If you want to argue that, look, Ohio State's roster is better than Clemson's roster.
Yes.
Okay, then.
We're better than Clemson's roster.
That's debatable. Because I don't know how you've come to disrespect defensive lines. It's one thing. I know what Clemson's defensive line is.
No, I'm not. I would never say Clemson had 4 All-Americans at one time.
So, wait a minute. Notre Dame's defensive line is better than Clemson's defensive line?
We're saying rosters. Cliff, you can win a
position. Didn't you break it down to rules?
Yeah, so
okay.
D-line room, I wouldn't say they have a better D-line than us.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't say we have a better D-line room than we have everything else better than Clemson.
Everybody else in the chat can talk about how I feel and I hate Notre Dame. No, man, I don't lie. I don't care how much I love Notre Dame. I'm not about to sit here and lie. I'm not about to call Ian Book a Hall of Famer. No.
He is.
I don't care if he is the all-time winningest quarterback in Notre Dame.
That makes you a Hall of Famer.
He's not even a top 5 quarterback at Notre Dame. Let's keep it a buck. I'm not that fan. We're not doing that.
You have to give.
So I had no problem. I had no problem with your assessment until you got to the D-line room. I pushed back. That's it. We disagree. Yeah.
But having one room is not making the roster better.
We just said the linebacker room is better as well.
No, you said at best is even.
No, I said running back is even. Linebacker is not even. Are you kidding me? Man, Lucky Lefty podcast. Dude, you're trying to make it seem like every room, Notre, based upon what you're saying, Notre Dame better beat Ohio State by 20 points. It better be a blowout. Because the roster that Ryan Day is walking into is trash, according to you.
It's not trash. It's not trash. But ours isn't trash either.
I didn't say it was trash.
But you're saying it like, Ohio State's D-line is just head and shoulders above.
You do. Nobody said increments or head and shoulders. I just said they're better. Period.
If you're better,
if we're going to talk about development, because you're hedging everything on development.
I'm hedging things on talent right now. We're just talking about depth in talent.
It has to be development because you don't know what you have yet.
From a talent perspective,
you said it's unproven, right?
Yes.
So that means you're betting on
a production level. We can't, we don't know. But if you looked at paper to paper, I like our talent versus Ohio State's talent.
Okay. That's cool.
Would you agree we have a better secondary? Because we definitely got a better secondary.
I give you that.
Okay.
Some might disagree. Well, push it back. Notre Dame has better cornerbacks. They have better safeties. It is the safety position is not even.
Well, I don't know. We just brought some safeties in. We just brought some guys in at safety. I don't know. We just brought some dudes over there at safety.
Okay.
So would you give us a top 10?
It's funny. Somebody in the chat said Ohio State's defensive line has been a problem for years. Yeah, that's why they turned out people like the Bosa's and all the great defensive players.
One player.
Wait a minute. We talking about one player?
No, I'm saying one player at a time. Like, okay, Nick didn't play with Joey. Chase didn't play with
they had 8 straight years of the best defensive end in
one guy football. At a time. Yes, you're right. Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, so when Nick went, who else was on the roster at the time when Nick went to the league?
Man, look, and this is funny. Somebody in the chat said they can't stop Michigan. Guess what? Notre Dame's defensive line wouldn't have been able to stop Michigan last year either.
No, yeah, definitely not defensive
line. So what are we talking about? Man, I got to get out of here. We talked about what's unacceptable. 19th rated schedule. Look, you think they're a top 5 roster? It's debatable.
At worst, top 10. You taking 10 rosters over our roster?
Oh, 10 top. Yeah, they're definitely a top 10 roster. They're definitely a top 10
I couldn't think of 10 teams I'd take over Notre Dame.
I'm going to be honest, bro. Our roster, Penn State has an impressive roster, bro.
Yeah.
You can question their coaching, but they have a very impressive roster. Very impressive roster. See, Michigan is built different. Because you can look at Michigan and you might not be impressed with the roster. They've built their program to play a certain way.
Yeah, they got a style. They're a stylistic
style that's effective for them. So
It's not a blueprint to copy for sure.
I would agree. Texas, Roger Dodger, Texas does have an impressive roster. If you look at the roster, you would say, yo, Texas is stacked. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win games, though. And that's what I was saying. You can have the most impressive roster and not necessarily win games.
They're going to win a lot of games, though.
Texas this year?
Yeah, they're going to win a lot of these.
We'll see. We'll see. Lucky Lefty podcast. Loghan Thomas, big-time defensive line prospect in 24, has set his commitment for tomorrow. Left, I think Notre Dame is going to be very close in securing his commitment. It's going to come down to one. If I had Georgia, Notre Dame. Georgia, he's a Texas kid, but I think Georgia, Notre Dame right now.
A Texas kid between Georgia and Notre Dame. That's an interesting.
Texas Tech is in it, but at this point, I really don't think they have a good shot. But this, I'm going to lead to this as we get ready to go. People want to know, I'll say this. I believe that Justin Scott is also paying attention to the recruiting classes. He's very aware of who's signing with Georgia. He's definitely made it public that he's aware of kids that's signing in Michigan, because Michigan has been on a roll. The month of June is going to be very important in closing and drawing the attention of the biggest prospects left for Notre Dame. Because majority of the time, big prospects want to play with other great players. That's just the way it is. Whether it's basketball, football, 5-star kids want to play with other 5-star kids. That's just the way it goes. The ability of Notre Dame to close, to possibly get a Loghan Thomas, to possibly close on other big-time prospects in the month of June, even on the offensive line, could very well be pivotal for guys like Justin Scott, who's sitting back and is watching how everything is going as he begins to take his official visits in June. So, closing in June is going to be very important for Notre Dame, right? Because people are watching. People are watching. Doma Wop, thank you for the super chat. You should consider doing a live game watch for the Indy Ohio State game. Will be fascinating to listen to each of your perspectives as the game is played. That would be nice, but I know we would probably prefer to be close to Ohio State fans so we can get on their nerves. I know, at least I would. I'm petty like that. Hey. Really, you know what? It's crazy. The Ohio State game, I only care about one person on Ohio State. That's it.
Cornell Tate.
That's it. As long as my boy gets about 4-5 receptions, I'm good.
Yeah, we straight. That's how I feel about Brown. 40 points, and yeah, we good. We
good. I don't care.
It's trash. Yeah.
Notre Dame can win by 40. Well, that'd be perfect. Get him 4 or 5 receptions. Notre Dame wins by 40. That's the best of both worlds for me. Absolutely is.
That's fair.
Great show, man. Great show left. We talked about Notre Dame having a top 5 roster, and we gave a eulogy to LeBron James.
That's great.
And it was just a fantastic show. We also talked about the unacceptables for Notre Dame football. You know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story of the Day brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Bro, I don't know if you saw this story, but we go up to East Lansing, Michigan, where a professor at Michigan State University had a class, and in the curriculum, in the syllabus, she required all of her students, which was 600, to sign up for her website, which is made part of the curriculum for her liberal activism. This is real talk. Michigan State students are now suing her for making her personal beliefs and her personal website part of the curriculum. Think about that. 600 students times 100, bro. That's 6 stacks. 6 stacks per semester. You know how much money she's been bringing in, bro? She made her beliefs as part of the curriculum in this class and made it mandatory that all of the students sign up.
Well, they let that happen though. They let that happen. Like I'll be like, wait a minute. I ain't paying that. You got to be tripping. You got to be crazy. What do you mean? I'll fail that class. I would have. Hey, Adam Sarge dropped me from this class.
Yeah, man. I think I would have been like, yo, I'm gonna use your login, bro. What's your login for the website? Because I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't even like. How did she even get away with that for so long? I feel like as many parents would have been sending emails and calling up at the school first. Soon as she had out the syllabus.
Man, yo,
go.
Great show. We'll put, Left wanted to put the entire Lakers organization besides LeBron on the petty train for leaving this boy hanging. So
that's right. Well deserved.
Man, we'll see you guys tomorrow for another edition of the Lucky Lefty podcast. Have a great Tuesday, but most of all, spend it different.